In a week where everything either got delayed or cancelled, FF7, Avengers, Sony...
And Cyberpunk, Tabs.
And Cyberpunk, we're looking at you. Now sit back, relax, and let BA News serve up our pick of this week's biggest news stories, still chasing shadows in the games industry. Greetings, BArcadians, and welcome to another episode of the BA News Show with me, Tabs, and my esteemed colleague, Rich. Say hello, Rich.
Hello.
What have we got for you today? We've got our usual 3 items of our pick and selection of this week's news in the games industry. We've got Sony's snub of E3. We've got a bit of chatter on Microsoft's next-gen strategy. And finally, we've got the practically confirmed Bioshock Collection on the Nintendo Switch.
Boom.
Boom. But before we get into that, Rich, what have you been playing this week, my friend?
So this week I have mostly been playing Gran Turismo Sport, although not a lot because I've been major busy this week. What about you, Tabs?
Well, tell us a little bit about that before we move on. Yeah, I hear you got a steering wheel for Christmas.
Yes.
And you can getting serious.
Yeah, I've got a Logitech G29 steering wheel for Christmas. I think it's a G29, which was cool. Really good bit of kit, and just trying to learn a bit. I've never really used a steering wheel, so I'm just trying to get used to that. And yeah, cool.
But little birdie tells me you podiumed recently on an online race.
Yes, I managed to get third on the podium. Yeah, just creeping up the order, building up the skills. So yeah, it's a bit more difficult, but I think it's more progressive. So I think there's definitely more scope to get a lot better at it. But there we go.
Watch out, Lewis Hamilton. You've got competition.
What about you, Tabs? What have you been playing?
Again, it's been a bit of a busy week, bit of a hectic week in my personal life. But in terms of what I have touched on, it's Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars, of course, on the PS4.
Nice.
Really enjoying it. It's very much like a God of War meets Uncharted, with a little bit of Dark Souls in there, or Bloodborne. Rough around the edges, technically not completely ironed out, but you know, I have big admiration for Respawn and what they've done, and hopefully that'll be a key turning point in EA's strategy going forwards, because you know, I don't think I'm lying when I say they're one of the most hated companies in the games industry.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So let's kick off then. So we've got Sony's snub of E3, which came as a bit of an anvil on our piano, Rich, didn't it, in terms of our plans this year?
Yeah.
We really wanted to attend E3 for the first time. We wanted to, you know, see a massive next-gen reveal from all of the big industry companies. And, well, what do you know? Michael Pachter predicted this, games industry analyst, that Sony would snub E3 2020. And, well, they've come out and confirmed that. It's the second year in a row they've done this. They have... They've said in a statement that essentially they don't feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what they're focused on this year. They have said that they're going to still attend hundreds of other consumer events throughout the year, so it's not like they're in hiding. But Rich, what do you make of this?
I think that last line you put there speaks volumes for me, because they're not saying we're doing our own thing this year. So we're going to create our own media events this year through the likes of YouTube drops and streams, stuff like that. They're saying we are going to attend lots of other shows this year. And I actually think that speaks volumes. So what they're saying is it's E3 specifically that for some reason doesn't fit with their brand's ethos maybe nowadays, which I think is interesting. Obviously, I'm massively disappointed. I think E3 is still up in the air. We may still go, but certainly that's one of the big things we were going to go for, and that's obviously not going to be there now.
Yeah, we're going to make a decision by the end of the week, aren't we? I like to be positive, and I still think if it is in decline, we'll at least we'll catch something of the atmosphere before it really does is phased out. You did mention though before we were filming something to do with some controversy last year's E3, which may have a bearing on this.
Yeah, so I think last year, completely accidentally, I'm led to believe, but lots of the press people, YouTubers, famous streamers and stuff. Basically, they were doxed, and it's not a term I've ever heard of, but having done some research, it's where basically their personal information gets released to the general public. So lots of names, addresses, and phone numbers, etc., were accidentally released to the general public, and I think some people had some real issues with having to change phone numbers, and people having some letters and stuff through the post. So I think that's again a bit more negativity against E3, and it does make you wonder whether this is more of a E3 thing or a Sony thing. I don't know. What do you think, Tubbs?
I was going to say, I've got some. I think there's something political going on here. I think the showrunners, is it the ESA?
Oh yeah.
I think, like you say, there could be some bad blood there for whatever reason. We'll never know. It's behind closed doors. But it almost feels like Sony's boycotting the event because they are massive. They've got a monopoly practically on the on the games industry. So that's going to have a massive damaging effect on the show. And personally, as a kind of a gamer all my life, a bit of a romanticist in terms of the roots of video gaming, I feel it's a real shame. It's E3 in many ways is a love letter to the fans, to the gamers out there, a chance to share that enthusiasm, that passion with everybody in the construct of a convention. And for me, it's a real missed opportunity to celebrate that, not just internally in that community, in that tribe, if you like, but also to promote that on a much broader platform. We know entertainment and forms of entertainment are, they're always competing these days, and they're always vying for the spotlight. E3 gives them an opportunity to really spread the love for gaming. So shame.
And I mean, actually, 10, 15 years ago, if you didn't release a game, if you didn't launch your new games console at E3, you would do nothing. It was like a massive deal. Like it was the biggest thing in the game industry in the world. But the world has changed, and how we get our information and how we sort of put information out there. You can live stream, you can drop videos on YouTube, you can, everything's instant now, So I don't know, is E3 losing its relevance? Is that what the big problem is?
Yeah, seemingly. I mean, we're moving into a digital domain, aren't we? It's much less the tangible physical world and all about. Well, it saves a lot of money, doesn't it, to just shadow drop things on YouTube or online?
Oh, absolutely.
Videos. So, yeah, it could very well be. And again, that romanticist in me wants to cling on to some of those more traditional elements of the world. But anyway, so Rich, you want to talk us through the next item, my friend?
Yeah, so it seems Xbox, the new Xbox coming this year. We're thinking sometime in November, and we've had some more information about this recently, some bits of details of information in the last sort of week or so. And it seems that Microsoft are strategizing the long game with the Xbox, the new Xbox. It seems that they've said basically none of their games for the first couple of years will be exclusives. Now, I thought that meant that they wouldn't be exclusives to consoles, but having read that further, what they mean, I think what they mean is they're games that are they're like Microsoft exclusives. I think that's what they mean. So you'll be able to play them on PC. You'll be able to play them on the last generation Xbox and then the new generation Xbox. So I don't. Yeah. I was reading that as if, well, they're not going to have no exclusives, so why would anyone buy an Xbox? But that's not what they're saying. So I think that's not to be confused. And then they're also...
One of the issues with that, though, is that they're going to have to scale them, aren't they, across... they're straddling these multiple consoles.
Absolutely.
So that, the fear is that's going to have an impact on the quality, on the, the kind of technical leap in terms of next gen. If they're all scaled, well, that might dilute them somewhat.
Absolutely.
But no, what were you going on to say?
And then I was just going on to say that there's also talk, and I don't think we've had this absolutely confirmed, that there may be Epic and Steam.
This is just a rumour.
They're like distributors of of PC games there where you can download them basically. And there's a suggestion that will also be available on the Xbox, which again, it sort of further blurs the lines for me between a console and a PC, because if you introduce that, it's more of a PC than a console, you know. But, what do you think on that, Tubbs?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I mean, of course, as well, we do know that we don't know quite to the degree, but we also know it's going to be backwards compatible. We think to potentially the very first Xbox, all three generations of Xbox. I was speaking to this to a friend of the channel, Raid, this week actually, and he put it in a very nice term. He said that it seems that Microsoft are focusing on a service first, software second strategy, and I thought that was very, very eloquently put. It seems, you know, they're not playing Sony at their own game, which I think is probably a good thing, because they've tried that before on a few times now, and it's failed miserably. It seems that they're trying to perhaps take a bit more of a stealthy approach where they can pull together a number of audiences, you know, from all sorts of different demographics. You know, as you say, Rich, PC gamers. You know, people who can't quite step up yet to the Xbox. You know, that they're going to pull all these people in, build something of a loyal base, and then 2 years down the line, well, maybe they will have, you know, some pretty epic experiences exclusive to the new Xbox to drop and just to, you know, to hammer home. And
I mean, that just sounds like, to me, you won't be blown away with any of the launch titles. That's like, it's almost like in brackets, there won't be any exclusives for 2 years. By the way, the launch titles are rubbish. That's the one.
I think this chap, Xbox Game Studio boss Matt Booty, he has said that they're going to pick one or two IPs that they're going to focus on, really taking advantage of the next Xbox. So I don't think that's necessarily true. I think we will still see, you know, is it Halo, for example? I think we'll see that really come across as a next-gen experience, and it will just be scaled across different consoles. But yeah, I think you're right in saying they're not necessarily going to have as many as Sony could potentially have with all of their talented studios on board. But no, very much for me, I think their strategy is, you know, they want to be a conduit, they want to be a platform to channel third-party support, and they're not necessarily, you know, gonna meet Sony head-on with that. And I think, you know, I think it could work potentially.
Well, actually, I look at that and think, well, actually, on two other console generations, they've shown that they can't beat Sony, just going toe to toe with them. So actually, it probably suggests that there's some good reason behind actually doing something a little bit different.
And I think, maybe this is also a concession on their part. Maybe the games just aren't ready. We know they've been buying up studios left, right and centre, and maybe these games just aren't ready to drop. And you know what? Conservative approach in that manner, I think, is a good thing. I'd always prefer games to be left in the oven to bake, to be really good, rather than rush them out and they're half-baked experiences. And, you know, you miss that opportunity entirely, don't you, to make an impact?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so yeah, for me, let's see.
That leads on nicely. I mean, all these games that are being delayed, I'm sort of like, if it improves the game, I'm not really too bothered. If we're going to get better games for delays, then delay them, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, FF7 Cyberpunk, we want them to be the experiences we're hyped for, don't we, at the end of the day? I'm not going to be like, have a tantrum because it's a few months late.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd want a lesser product for that. I'm always down for them, you know, giving it more polish and
absolutely.
All power to them. So what have we got last? The last item, quick mention on this one really. Again, not confirmed, but more or less pointing to. Taiwanese ratings board website has listed Bioshock Collection for the Nintendo Switch. So again, you know, I think we were
amazing.
Go on.
Amazing.
You're chuffed about that, Rich. You think it's a bit of a scoop, I think.
I think that is a massive scoop, because I don't think there are really, apart from Doom, I don't think there's really any other games like Bioshock on the Switch.
I've been hoping for a long time that we're going to see some kind of colossal AAA third-party experiences. I think the ones I've mentioned are things like Fallout, Bioshock, or GTA.
Oh, that one, yeah, of course, that one, yes, the one that you never ever shut up about coming to the Switch.
Well, surely this is just paving the way now for GTA 5. Surely, how can't they do it? It's just another way to bridge the Rockstar revenue stream as well.
Absolutely. Although, having said that, GTA 5, and this is a tangent from this story, but GTA 5 is scoped like £5 billion or something.
Well, there you
it's
go.
Insane.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're not hungry for money.
No.
Is this a good time for tentative rumour of the week, Rich?
Well, just one last thing on Bioshock. If you are into Bioshock, or maybe you don't know much about Bioshock, we have done a little video talking about the art of Bioshock and how it is an absolutely beautiful game, and I'm sure it will look equally as beautiful on the Switch. So definitely go and check that out if you're interested in Bioshock.
I'm very tempted by it. Yeah, if they nail the performance down on it, pair of headphones, buried in the Switch on an evening, I think it could be fantastic.
Absolutely. And then, what we're saying then, Tab, so there's rumour mill of the week, sort of linked to this, and this is like, I'm very sceptical on this, but there's suggestions that we're going to see GTA 6 this year. Make of that what you will.
I don't think there's an awful lot of credence to the rumours there, Rich, but did you say the leaker has apparently got a few things right in the past?
So the story comes about an Austrian game retailer called Gameware has basically posted a listing of GTA 6 suggesting that the big budget title will be out this year. Now, I think to suggest that that's some indication that the game will come out this year is very tentative indeed. However, the caveats I'll put to that are that these people have been right a number of times on lots of other things, that where they've dropped something and said, this is coming out this year or whatever, and they've been right. So I would say this is very tentative, but the people who have put this tentative link have been right in the past. So make of that what you think.
Fair enough, yeah. Well, let's be hopeful. I'd love to see it as a Christmas release, holiday 2020. That'd be fantastic.
On nextgen, amazing.
Yeah. And secret tentative rumour of the week for you, Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, I don't know if you'd seen this.
Okay.
I think I shared it with you, actually. But apparently the Pikmin 3 website was taken down.
Yeah.
And there's track record for this to happen when they are about to drop a new announcement of a new game. I know you're a massive Pikmin fan, so
I am, yes, but I've given up all hope that I'll ever see another Pikmin game. Because,
well, fingers crossed the next Nintendo Direct, whenever it drops.
I would say every Nintendo conference, every Nintendo Direct, they're like, oh, Pikmin's in this one, and then it doesn't happen. So,
apparently it's been done for years, isn't it? It's just in a vault somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. How that works, since we're like 4 generations past that, no idea. But there we go.
Well, I'm saying a prayer for you, buddy. So I think that's all we've got time for this week. If you did like the video, please drop us a like. Really helps to grow and support the channel. Drop us a comment. Let you know what you think to this week's news stories. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications to stay abreast of everything Rich and I put out. And yeah, that's about all we've got time for. Another one for the archives.
Stamped and completed.